win on the road, 17-3 at Towson. Six in a row now for you in CAA play going back to last year. What did you like so much about this win?
Yeah, really good CAA win for us against a good Towson team. It felt like we left some points out there offensively, but I give Coach Shinnick and his staff credit. They did not let us get behind them. They did a good job of making us earn it. And because of that, I'm proud of how we played in a close football game for 60 minutes, and when you get into conference play, the margin for error, it becomes smaller. And we need to be able to win a game against a good team, scoring 17 points. So, running the ball, controlling the clock, and playing really stingy defense, that's a winning recipe too. So, proud of our guys and the way we played for that game.
Yeah, you touched on the time of possession. You control the ball for 36 minutes, which, like you said, is a credit to your offenses and your running game and your defense. Did you think coming into the game that you would be able to put up that kind of number and control the ball that way?
No, I mean, going into the game, and I credit, Casey Vance, our defensive staff, had a great plan going into the game. We knew we wanted to stop the run. That's where it would start. And, you're playing against a freshman quarterback, but I'm impressed with Indorf. I mean, he's going to be a good player in this league. But we felt like if we could stop the run and win when it came to situational defense, that would be important in this game. And it was. And we did a great job, when it comes to situational defense, winning on third down. I think they were 0 for 9 on third down. So winning third down, short yardage, two goal line stands. We responded to our only turnover of the game with a 3-and-out. So really credit our defensive staff on a great plan and our players really for executing. And if we can get them off the field on third down and then run the ball and sustain drives offensively, and we missed two field goals, which is rare for us to leave points out there like that in the kicking game. But you put all that together and play clean and minimize the penalties. We had 3 penalties on the day. Then that's a winning recipe to win games in our league.
You touched on let's just kind of dive into the defense. You hold them to 321 yards and just that field goal, and that field goal came after they had gotten to the 1 yard line, and you make them settle for three. And then, as you touched on, when they drove twice inside your 10 there in the fourth quarter to try to get it close, and you force turnovers on downs on both sides. Who really impressed you defensively, or was it? I'm guessing the whole group as well.
Sure, it takes 11, but Kamari Brown made a big play in the fourth quarter. Uh, they they were around the 15-yard line away. He chases the Indorf scrambles. Kamari Brown chases him down from behind, gets him down at the 6-yard line. It's 2nd and 1. And that led to 3rd and 1, which led to 4th and 1, which led to a stop. But like that type of effort and his pursuit to get him down at the 6 and make it a 2nd and 1, that can change football games. And that was big. So Kamari Brown, strong, fast, high motor type player. But that was a big time play.
We're here with Elon head coach Tony Trisciani. If you have a question for him this morning, just use the chat feature or the raise your hand icon. Let's go over to the offensive side of the ball, and 200. We touched on it a little bit, but 247 yards on the ground against a pretty solid Towson defense. Jameel Williams, 90 yards on the ground. Landon gave you 81. TJ Thomas, 53. Let's talk about the play of those guys, and then obviously you had a good day from the offensive line.
Yeah, Towson they are big up front now, and they do a good job of keeping their linebackers clean in the odd front. And I was impressed with the job we did up front. We knew we needed to be physical up front, and we did. We got some push in the run game. We were able to get to the linebackers and cover them up enough to where our running backs could break some arm tackles. And we were also much improved on third down this week. We were around 47%. So pleased to see that type of improvement. But our running back room is playing really well right now. Jameel, TJ, and Dan Frederick, he had a touchdown in there and was productive. And all three of those guys can catch the ball out of the backfield. Last week with TJ, catching the ball with some big plays in the passing game. This week it was Jamil with a big one. So just pleased with the development of that room, our offensive line group up front starting to gel together and playing well together, and pleased with that group.
Question for it this morning from Bob. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Tony. How beneficial is it to have so many options in that running game? Obviously, you have a quarterback who runs it quite well, and a couple of running backs. Is this about as diverse rushing attack that you've had in a few years?
Yeah, it is. Landon, he adds that component of a dual threat quarterback where we can have some designed quarterback run, both interior run game and perimeter run game with him and our running backs. And we include some of the receivers in that as well with some of the speed sweep stuff. So we're making defenses defend the entire width of the field. And, we like to take shots down the field. So we're making them defend the field vertically as well. So pleased with the group and the development of the offense. This is a new offense for us. So like we're growing and getting better every week even. And Doug and our offensive staff is, getting more comfortable with our personnel. But pleased with the group and the growth of Landon Clark, that's, he's still a redshirt freshman, so he's still learning, and he wants to learn and he wants to be coached. He's a relentless competitor. He's hard on himself. He is talented enough to take over a football game, but he doesn't need to. He just needs to play quarterback. Our O-line's gelling together, got a talented running back room, and we got playmakers on the outside. So, anxious to see us continue to grow and develop offensively.
When did it become apparent that Jamil might be so productive offensively? Obviously, coming in as a transfer, I'm sure you had to kind of see how that was all going to fit with what you had.
Yeah, he's shown flashes, his whole time here. But what he does really well, you don't see unless it's live. Like it's got to be live, and people got to be trying to tackle him because that's when you get to see him run behind his pads. And he's very comfortable in the open field. He's got great vision, secures the football. So yeah, he's talented, and there was a bit of a hidden secret, I guess you could say, until we got into these live situations in games. He's a bit different running behind his pads.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Tony, how big, just in a statement drive, that 15 play drive there in the second quarter that took nearly 8 minutes and gave you that 10-0 lead at the half?
Yeah, that was big. Just to reestablish control of the game. We had put together a couple big drives like that, and yeah, that's good. If we can keep their offense off the field and control the clock, and like I said, play good defense and win football games.
Another big challenge ahead on Saturday. You get to go back home, but Villanova coming to town, always a challenging game. What are some of the challenges that this year's Villanova team presents?
Yeah, they're a really good football team, well coached, coming off a big road win, just like we are. For them to go up to Durham and play the way they did, that's a really tough place to play. So that's a big win for them. And they did it with a balanced attack. Really, they did a good job running the football. Quarterback made good decisions, and they played stingy defense.
What obviously they are much like your team, very deep at the running back with Abbott and Isaiah Ragland and Mace. What makes their rushing attack so difficult to handle?
Yeah, so an experienced offensive line and well coached. Sean Devine does a great job up there as an offensive line coach, and they're experienced. And the running back room is deep. I mean, here comes Mace now.
Yeah.
So like, um, you know, that's a deep, talented room, and they're fast and they're physical. So. And the receivers do a good job blocking on the perimeter. Well, I'll say that they're a high effort group, and they do a good job blocking on the perimeter, and that breaks explosive plays.
And then on the other side, obviously, everybody's well aware of Shane Hartzell. It seems like he's been there forever. How key is he to the kind of the middle of the defense and what makes them go?
So Villanova, they're traditionally, one of the top defenses in our league year in and year out, and they're going to stop the run, and and typically be able to, play some suffocating coverage on the outside and back end. Um, Shane Hartzell, he's freed up a lot in that odd front. You put a big nose guard in there and two four eyes, and he's got some clean living, and he does it well. He gets the ball and he gets people on the ground. He's talented. He's good, whether he's lurking to handle the scrambling quarterback or in the passing game. He's talented. Um, the other thing I'll say is I was impressed with their ability to pressure the quarterback last week, and um, Wudate, the defense number 96. I mean, what a coming out party for him. I mean,
Yeah.
he was impressive, just his speed and athleticism on the edge. So that's an area where I've seen Villanova change a little bit here from game one here now to game 5 for them. Generating some pass rush.
Literally, if it says release whenever you want.
All right, Tony, thanks as always for your time today, and we look forward to talking.